Có nhiều video nói về giọng miền Bắc. Có nhiều video nói về giọng miền Nam. Nhưng mà không có nhiều video nói về giọng miền Trung. Vậy hôm nay mình thảo luận một chút về giọng miền Trung nha. The term miền Trung here refers to the 8 coastal central provinces in Vietnamese, các tỉnh duyên hải miền Trung, from Danang, Quảng Nam in the north down to Bình Thuận, with a population of nearly 12 million people. This area used to be the land of the Champa kingdom. Each and every one of these provinces still have beautiful cham towers that you can see today. Now, the interesting fact about the central accents, giọng miền Trung, is that each of these 8 neighboring provinces have very distinct accents. Compare that with the Mekong Delta, a population of 21.5 million people living in 13 provinces and cities. And we tend to think that these people as having one single accent. Người miền Trung, people from the central region, are very tự hào, proud about their accent, to the point that they have the saying, chửi cha không bằng pha tiếng. Chửi cha không bằng pha tiếng. Yelling at your father is not as bad as mixing your accent. This is quite extreme considering how immoral it is to yell at your father in a Confucius culture. So why this diversity of accents? In general, linguists agree that accent and dialect differences result mainly from isolation and separation. But there may be one additional factor that explains the diversity of Vietnamese central accents. I believe this theory was first proposed by a researcher named Hồ Trung Tú in 2011. It comes down with how gradually the kingdom of Champa fell. Again, this is their original land. In the 10th century, Quảng Nam, where Danang and Hoian, two popular tourist attractions, are now, was lost to Đại Việt, the Vietnamese kingdom back then. Following this defeat, the Cham people there had to learn Vietnamese. So naturally, the Vietnamese language that ended up being spoken in that area would have been influenced by the Cham language of the original residents. Following the fall of Quảng Nam, the Cham moved the capital city to Bình Định, whose capital city now is Quy Nhơn. They officially lost Bình Định in the 15th century. So now the Cham people in Bình Định had to start speaking Vietnamese too. But here's the interesting part. The people they mainly learned from was their fellow Cham in Quảng Nam. So they were learning from people who already had their own distinct accent. Now, this pattern with Cham people in defeated areas learning Vietnamese from other Cham people was repeated several times. From 1471, the only remaining Cham land was Phú Yên and the area south of there. Towards the end of the 17th century, Champa lost Phú Yên and Khánh Hòa, whose capital city is Nha Trang, a huge tourist attraction. And finally, the history of the kingdom of Champa ended in 1832 when the Vietnamese took Ninh Thuận. The capital city of Ninh Thuận is now named Phan Rang Tháp Chàm, with Phan Rang being the Vietnamized name of Panduranga, the name of the last Champa kingdom, and Tháp Chàm means Cham Tower. So to summarize, every time a Cham province was lost to the Vietnamese, the Cham people there had to learn Vietnamese from their fellow Cham. It was like a game of telephone, with each successive dialect accent representing one step further from the original Vietnamese. And that's why they have their own dialects and accents. What do you think? Do you find this theory convincing? Let me know in the comment.
Miền Trung. Giọng miền Trung. Người miền Trung. Tỉnh. Duyên Hải. Các tỉnh duyên hải miền Trung. Tự hào. Chửi cha không bằng pha tiếng. Chăm chàm. Người Chăm. Tháp Chăm.